I still remember that night vividly. We were at Hotel Himalaya. We were just finishing my cousin's mukherni ceremony, and we were making our way to her house to give the shagun to our new joy, as well as her. So it was my uncle, my husband, and I that were walking towards the parking, towards our car. And I noticed this motorcycle. It was stationed right beside our car. And there were two bikers. They were wearing this big jacket and were carrying extra big backpacks. And the strange thing about these bikers were that they looked like they were ready to leave because they had their helmets on and ready to drive, but they were waiting for some reason. So we got in the car and I took a side glance at them and I noticed that they started to drive as we drove off. Now, presiding officer, fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, have you ever had this gut feeling that something is off, not right? I had that feeling that very night, that very moment. I had this instinctive feeling, this sense, I was sensing danger. Now, for somebody who had firsthand experience of being looted, of seeing neighbors' houses being burgled, and even family friends being shot at, or their cars hijacked at gunpoint, all this while growing up in Kenya. Now, as we were driving, indicating to go right down towards Kupando, I kept a close watch at that motorbike that was right behind us. We turned right, they followed suit. And now, as we were driving down the road of Kupando, I kept a close watch at the rear view mirror, left and right. Now, noticing my strange behavior, my uncle started saying, "Sab, theek sa? Is everything okay?" "No, we're being followed. You know that bike that was right next to us at the parking lot? It's following us. I mean, like, look at all the other bikes. They're overtaking us. But that bike, no, look, it's right behind. Whenever we indicate, they're indicating right after us. Look at it." Before I continued, my husband, "Relax, this is Nepal, not your Kenya. Such things don't happen here." I was anything but relaxed. I held on tight to the bag that had all the jewelry that I was looking after for my cousin. And I said, "But they've been following us. Just look at them." As we turned left from the Thaptali Bridge towards Tripureshwar, they followed suit. I mean, they were following the same path, overtaking the same cars. My uncle, who earlier was also smiling like my husband, I noticed that he also started noticing the same. And he turned to my husband and said, "Joy, you know, I think she's right, because I've heard like these days, there's these motorbike people and they start looting people in broad daylight. I read in the papers." My husband thinking, oh, great. From one paranoid passenger to another. So he slowed down and he stopped the car right behind this maroon Maruti van. As I looked, the motorbike that was right behind us, it went past us. Zoop. My husband rolling up his eyes. "See, I told you you're making up stories in your head. Now you even scared your uncle in the process." I relaxed a little bit. And I told him about the story this one time in Kenya when my dad's friend was driving to work. And all of a sudden, this car pulled up right in front of him. And these men with guns, they just came out. And they went to him. "Get out of the car." My uncle, this big man, he was terrified. He was panicking. He was trembling. His seatbelt was jammed. He couldn't get out. And because he took too long, bang, he got shot right in the neck. My husband and uncle, listening to the story, said, "He died?" No, he pretended to be dead. Luckily, the bullet went through his shoulder outside, but he was acting dead out of fear. And when the robbers went, then he asked for help. So luckily he survived. And just as I was finishing off that story, my uncle noticed, "Hey, isn't that motorbike that was following us?" I panicked again. "Where?" "Yes, it's them. It's them. I told you I was not making up stories. It's them. It's them. They're waiting for us just like they were waiting for us in the hotel." They had been strategically located and stationed right at the corner of Nachkar, waiting for us. I could even see them pointing at our car. I said, drive, drive, drive. And at this point, my husband followed suit. He raced past them, and we were cruising down Jamal, down to Lazimpat, overtaking cars. For a minute, it felt like we were in a Fast and Furious movie. The three of us frantically looking forward and back. And Dibya swerved and cruised down Lazimpat, raced down and swerved round the corner into this gully right behind Shangri-La. And then swerved into another gully. It was pitch black dark. We all looked behind, catching our breath. We had finally lost them. Ooh, what a night. We got to my cousin's place. We made it just in time because the ceremony hadn't started yet. So we relaxed a little bit, got our drinks. I even told my parents about this. We said, Yapani, it happens here. They were surprised just as I was. So the cameraman came and they started taking pictures, and my uncle asked, Hinadila, the cameraman, the photographer particularly, he rolled up his eyes and said, we didn't know the way here. We were following you guys and lost you at Nachkar. Oh, my uncle's reaction, my husband's reaction. They looked at me with big astonished eyes, and I, in embarrassment, blushing, said, hey, you believed me too, right? And it's better to be safe than sorry. But at that point, fellow Toastmasters, dear guest, I realized that the intensity with which I had been processing events and experiences in my life had made me react the way that I did. Now, I was not wrong sensing that we'd been followed, but I was wrong in sensing danger. So, I would say if you have a hunch next time, go with that hunch, but don't overreact. But at the same time, do keep a lookout for the crazy driving that still happens around Kathmandu. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Morning.